My name is Greg Clark. I'm leader of the Alberta Party and MLA in Calgary-Elbow. We're here at the Alberta Party Policy Convention 2016. The theme this year is Centre Together. And I think there's a real opportunity and a real need in Alberta to create a centrist alternative in the political landscape. What Albertans are being told right now is they only have two choices, a far right and a far left, an intolerant right and an irresponsible left. If you care about money, you need to choose the right, and if you care about people, you need to choose the left. I care about both, and I think it's important we get it right, and in fact I think we can and must have both fiscal discipline but also a compassionate government that looks out for people. That's exactly what the Alberta Party is, and the good news is I think that's who most Albertans are as well. From an economic perspective, I think Alberta should pursue an "and" economy. We should continue to support Alberta's oil and gas industry and say how proud we are of what that industry is today, our world-leading track record on environment, our world-leading track record on safety, and we can continue to improve on that. We also, in addition to that, can pivot from what we're very good at. Alberta Oil and Gas is very good at reducing carbon emissions, the use of water and land, but we also have some tremendous people in agriculture, in the technology field, in biotech, in the sciences. So I think Alberta needs to gradually diversify our economy, but we shouldn't shortcut ourselves on oil and gas. We need to fight tooth and nail to make sure that we get pipeline and market access, both east and west and south. We need to support all three, West Energy East and Keystone XL. That's going to be good for Alberta, and I actually believe it's going to be good for the environment because it means that oil is sourced from a responsible provider in Alberta, not from some of the other regimes that we see in the Middle East. I think pursuing a renewable strategy is a good idea, and I do think that we need to make sure we take some steps in that direction. I generally, in principle, I support a carbon tax. I don't support the NDP's carbon tax. The way they've gone about it it doesn't make sense because it's not revenue neutral. It doesn't invest enough in innovation, and the way that they've structured the rebates, where 2/3 of Albertans get a rebate, it's over $500 million a year of the carbon tax simply goes back recycled into Albertans. The problem with that is that's not a way of structuring a carbon tax. The carbon tax should be truly and genuinely revenue neutral. And I also think that we need to be realistic about what's happening in the U.S. With Donald Trump as president, I think we need to press pause and figure out what that means. We need to be very careful that we don't sacrifice the economy on the altar of environment. Some could argue that we sacrificed environment on the altar of economy in the past. I think we need to find the right balance where we're doing both. I know for sure that we cannot have a conversation about the economy without also talking about the environment. That's the same conversation. And the more we do that, and the better we are at doing that, then I think the better off Alberta is going to be. When people ask me, does Alberta have a spending problem or a revenue problem? My answer is yes. We have both. We do have a spending problem. Our per capita spending in Alberta is as high or higher than anywhere else in the country, and our level of service is no better. In fact, in a lot of cases, it's worse. So we're getting less for more in Alberta, and we need to flip that on its head. We need to find a way to get more for less out of Alberta's public service. That's job number one. And then I think we need to have an honest conversation about Alberta's taxation structure. Let's lower taxes on things we want from people. We want people to earn money and keep more of their hard-earned money, so let's lower personal taxes. Let's lower business taxes to create an attractive investment climate. Let's make sure we look out for people on the low end of the income scale, but let's also capture economic activity from people who are coming to the province. Now, these are things that we're going to talk about here at this convention, and I'll be very interested to hear what our members have to say. We've invited people who aren't Alberta Party members to participate, and then we're going to undertake an engagement process following on from today over the course of the next coming months to hear what Albertans have to say. Because I think Albertans expect high quality public services in health, in education, and proper investments in those areas. But we also expect fiscal discipline and a balanced budget. How do we do that in a time when oil royalties are down 80 and 90%? And unless we're assuming that oil is going to come back and be $80 or $100 again, which, by the way, is the NDP strategy. Their strategy to fill the budget gap is just simply to hope oil comes back, which is exactly the same strategy the PC's pursued, and it got us into a heck of a mess. So we need to be realistic about what our strategy is going to be to restore balance. What is a reasonable and responsible level of cutbacks? What's a reasonable and responsible level of revenue, and how do we get there? Those are the questions the Alberta Party is asking. You know, I would say we're a big tent party, but we're not too big, right? So there are, you know, we absolutely reject divisive policies, racism, sexism. I mean, some of the things that we've seen go on in the PC leadership are tragic, nothing short of tragic. It's not acceptable. No social conservative will ever be welcome in the Alberta Party. That is not who we are. At the same time, we believe in the right mix of private and public. Government can't and shouldn't do everything. People should be incented and rewarded for taking some risk. Alberta entrepreneurs have created a tremendous province. We need to nurture entrepreneurship in this province, and people who have become entrepreneurs and who succeed through their own honest efforts, those are the people who give back to community and create a tremendous province that Alberta is. So I think you're exactly right. That to me is what being a centrist means. It means not just tolerating differences, it means celebrating differences and celebrating diversity and realizing the strength in diversity. Not just putting up with it and turning a blind eye, but if people are being discriminated against, we need to speak up. I think it's very clear that the NDP win was a rejection of the same old, same old. The PC party had become old and tired, and sadly that proud old party looks like it's about to be taken over by some pretty extreme elements. And that's unfortunate, but the fact is, the party has left a lot of Albertans behind. I've been talking with many people who have traditionally supported the PC party. Many of them are here this weekend, who have said, well, the PC party's left me. I haven't changed. And they see themselves in the Alberta Party. And I want to, through you and a message I want to spread far and wide, the Alberta Party is called the Alberta Party. We're a party of Albertans. We're like the province of Alberta. We're very open. We're a party of people from somewhere else. Our party is made up of people who have been PCs, Liberals, even a few Wild Rosers, and even a couple of former NDs, and a lot of people who've never been involved in the political process before because they love their province, they love their community, and they want to be part of making their province a better place. That's what the Alberta Party is. That openness is a hallmark of who we are.